The Emerging Teen Authors Writing and Publishing Camp is something that all young writers and aspiring authors need to be aware of, and it's returning for its 7th year this summer, giving teen writers the opportunity not only to write, but to experience the full publishing journey, working with professional editors, collaborating with a book designer, and being part of a published anthology, an award-winning published anthology at that. I'm lucky enough today to be joined by the incredible team that puts the whole thing together. So the founder of the camp, KB Jensen, award-winning author herself.
Thanks so much for taking the time to interview us and highlight our wonderful program. And it's such a great team. I'm really proud to be part of it with everybody here.
Jennifer Bisbing, who's going to be the editing portion.
Thanks for having us. This is great that we all get to meet together and talk about the camp.
And then book designer and my partner, Victoria Wolf.
It's exciting to be here and be part of the camp.
Kirsten, let's start with you. Give us, if you would, give us kind of an overview of the camp and what campers can expect.
We started in 2020 when a lot of the summer camp programs were closed and shut down. So we kind of did it as a way to help save summer for kids and help them get through a tough time. And what we realized was that teens are always going through a tough time, even when it's not 2020. So we've continued it ever since and really helped them turn to their art during the tough time of adolescence. In terms of what to expect with camp, it is really the camp that we all writers wish we had as young teens. It is an amazing opportunity to learn not just how to create a story, but how to publish and revise a story, how to polish it up and make it beautiful, how to win an award. Just getting that chance to really make it shine. It's really different from a lot of programs. It's not just, here you wrote a story and you're done. It's how do you elevate your craft and your art and really take it up to the next level.
So what are a few of the things that really make it unique from a typical writing camp that a writer might attend?
Yeah, there's many things. I think one of the big things is that they work one-on-one with a professional editor. So learning the craft, bouncing ideas, understanding how to do character development, story arc, really getting into the nitty-gritty of wonderful dialogue, having revealing details, all those things. They take it up to another level compared to a typical writing camp where you might write a little story and put it in a little book. This is more like really getting that story elevated to the point where it's a professional grade book. It's something that wins awards alongside adults because it's so high quality. And just taking that creativity and hard work ethic and taking it to the next level is a big part of it. Another thing that's really different is that they work with a professional cover designer, graphic artist, Victoria Wolf, who's our graphic design wizard, and just an amazingly talented person in general, also an artist, as you know. So it's really special in that the kids get to collaborate with a whole team of professionals and really bring their dream to life, really making sure that they have a say in everything. So they steer the direction of the cover with Victoria and they give her ideas, and together they collaborate and create something absolutely beautiful, like this from last year, which is quite the cover. And
yeah, it's gorgeous.
I think, you guys can
see it too. But it's really cool.
But yeah, just taking that up to where I think what's different about this camp is we take them seriously as writers, as artists, as young people. They get to create the story, they get to create the theme of the anthology, they create the title together, they create the cover, they get to work with a professional editor. We take them extremely seriously as young writers. So this isn't just a fun little camp for them. It's also a unique opportunity to get their story out into the world in a really great way. So,
and how do you balance that sense of creativity that all young writers have with actually putting it into the structure of a camp?
I think flexibility and autonomy are really important to me. As the director of the camp, I really want to make sure that we are giving them choices, that they have the creativity and control over their projects. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, this is what you must write. It must fit in this little box. That is not my jam as an artist or a writer. So I want to give them freedom. I want to make sure that they have the ability to to come in with their own ideas and direction. And if they want to change something, with how we roll, I'm open to it, which is really fun. So, yeah, it is hard to kind of steer eight. Usually we have about 8 to 10 writers, so it's hard to steer them in a certain direction. That's not really what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is let them steer me, and create something beautiful.
Kirsten, what do you think the biggest thing that teen writers struggle with when they first come into camp?
Well, it's hard because some of our campers have been with camp for such a long time that I can tell you what they struggle with is different from a brand new writer coming into camp. I think a brand new writer coming into camp, they've never been published before. They have kind of a little bit of maybe they're nervous about getting their ideas on paper and learning the ropes, on how to polish up a story, and that can take some time to get comfortable with. But a returning camper, they struggle with perfectionism very often because they've seen their story published before, and now they know that the world is going to see it, their friends and family are going to see it, so they have like a different level of pressure on them than somebody who's starting out for the first time and may not realize, hey, everyone's going to read this potentially, which not everyone will, but it's a, writing for an audience is quite different for a lot of authors, as teenagers, or even an adult author. It can be quite a lot. There can be some stage fright there. So I would say that's pretty universal for most of the writers is stage fright. But we help them with that. We work with them on that, and by making the story the best it possibly can be, I think that when the story comes out, they're proud and they know that they did a really good job and they put their everything into it, so they can overcome that.
So editing is probably one of the most important aspects of getting your book published. How do I guess this would be a question not about the returning campers because now they're used to it, but for new campers, how do new campers take this? This could be the first time a lot of them have had their work critiqued and being critiqued by a professional. How do some of the new campers coming in handle that?
I think historically, the way the new campers handle being critiqued for the first time and getting feedback, um, I think a lot of them actually come at it from a place of excitement because our coaches are so compassionate. In the past, we've had Shelley Wilhelm as our lead editor, and she's done a lot of coaching sessions with the authors. And even early in the story development, she'll sit down with them and she'll ask them a bunch of questions, trying to kind of pull out the threads of the story and the what they're trying to get to, where they're trying to what they're trying to envision, and how they want to get that across to the reader. I think that legacy is going to be carried on beautifully by Jennifer Bisbing, our new lead editor. I think that she's going to be taking those kids, and really putting them under her wing and gently, like, helping them learn the ropes with how to revise a story, how to really polish it up to the next level, how to get them excited about it, because it's just, a draft. It's just the starting point, and getting it to completion is a really magical thing, and really taking the time to elevate it. And I think the edits come from a place of excitement. I think they really come from a place of wanting it to make it so good that it's just you have to finish it. You can't put it down. And I think that when the kids see that vision of why we're doing it, they're actually pretty jazzed. Like, it can be scary to get editing, but it's also like really thrilling to get editing. Like, if you've got a really understanding and compassionate editor who really is coming at it from a place of excitement. So, Jennifer, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I feel like growing up and only having English teachers and not having a camp to actually work on my writing, someone actually sitting down with you and asking you questions about where your story wants to go is magical, meaning someone listening to me, someone understanding that I'm trying to say something interesting, and then having somebody help shape that instead of having somebody to correct it. I think that's a big asset in terms of this editing process. Um, and then the people other kids who have actually had more experience, I'm a new perspective coming in, so they've been with the camp for a while. So then I can help them with the way that I edit and the way that I experience writing. And I think that's going to shift the camp a little bit, which I think is great.
So Jennifer, I mean, all three of us have worked with you over the years in various editing projects and capacities. How do you have to change your process, um, or what you do in your editing process? Number one, because of the short time frame of the camp, which is 5 weeks, and number two, you're working with, younger, inexperienced authors. How does it change kind of your process and how you normally operate?
Well, I taught kids right out of college. I actually taught at a day school, and I work with 4-year-olds and I work with fifth graders. So I think I'm going to be tapping back into that creativity and the freedom that 4-year-olds had and the freedom of just creativity they offered the class. And then again, the questioning that comes with fifth graders, meaning they're struggling with learning new material. So I think I'm going to tap back into that asset. But yes, and me being a little more gentle with my editing is something that I have to work on. And I think that, but I also feel like as the kids are getting older, they're going to be moving on to college and they will possibly appreciate a little more stern editing because that's what they will be receiving from professors. So we're kind of prepping them for that opportunity as well. Um, I also just have a different creative mind, meaning like I write, murder mysteries and poetry. So I feel like those two assets come to the table, meaning I got some storylines and some interesting trajectories in terms of plot lines with murder mysteries. And then I love language. So helping the kids finesse their sentences, I think will be what I'm looking forward to the most.
A lot of the kids write really dark. So it's going to be really exciting to have Jennifer Bisbing as a murder mystery. Um, you know, uh, just awesome author, award-winning author coming in and helping them grow in the darkness. So that'll be fun. Yeah.
Are what the campers write always fiction, or is there any nonfiction involved in this? Is it always fiction?
Historically, it has been fiction. We do not pigeonhole any of our authors into writing any certain genre. So we've had some poetry, we've had a wide variety of fiction genres, but we would be open to having somebody write something that's based on a true story or nonfiction if that's what they would like to do.
Do you decide on a topic for the book in general before you kind of start the creative writing process, or is it kind of a free for all?
The kids actually decide the theme in the first session of camp. So they choose the direction of where they want to take the book.
As we mentioned earlier, this is Jennifer's first teen camp. She's taking over for Shelley Wilhelm, who is retiring this year from a great career as a children's book editor and coach. We all know Shelley personally, and we want to give her a shout out and wish her well in her retirement.
It has been a joy having Shelley Wilhelm as our lead editor. She's been an amazing asset to camp as well and has been such a gentle and steady voice. Writing can be scary sometimes, and she's been just wonderful at helping bring kids out of their shells as writers and really gain confidence and take it up a notch. And I'm really excited to see what Jennifer Bisbing brings to the table. Jennifer, you are the editor I trust with my own work. So, having you on the team is really impactful, and I think you're going to be a wonderful, calm, and exciting presence for the kids to learn more. And I think also the fact that you bring, some dark elements in and some poetic elements in is going to give us a new perspective this year. That's going to be really exciting for some of the kids to try new things and play around with different genres. And the fact that you're from different genres and you don't just stick to one thing and you bring the author's perspective is going to be really neat. So
I'm
very
really
excited to have, yeah, very excited to have Jennifer Bisbing on the team. As I don't know if you want this in first person, second person, what, but so I'll just say it kind of again. But yeah, Jennifer Bisbing is going to be wonderful as such a wonderful author and editor in her own right. Just bringing that to the table with her experience with multiple genres is going to be such a cool thing for the kids, from poetry to forensic scientists. Like, she knows a little bit of everything, so it's going to be fun.
Neat part of the camp that I watched was the cover design process with you, Victoria. It was you actually designed the cover live on Zoom interactively with all of the campers, 6 to 7 to 8 campers, all giving you ideas at one time. Number one, walk us through how you did that. And, secondly, kind of that process. I mean, I don't know many designers that can design, basically live in time on Zoom, especially with so many different authors giving their input on what they want.
I just want to say I have no idea how I do what I do. I just do. But It just happens. And it's I do have help from Kirsten and Shelley too. And now Jennifer, you will take that role on that day to where they all put in the chat their ideas. So there's not all this audio coming through. Some of them talk, but most just do the chat, which is better. And so Shelley and Kirsten are reading off what they're saying, and it's this back and forth, and it's like they suggest something, and then I react, and then I go in a different direction, and it's this synergy that I don't even know how it gets created, but it does, and every year it's the same, and it's really fun. And from my perspective, there is a lot of pressure, but it's not bad pressure. It's kind of like, okay, I got an hour and a half. I got got to get this cover done. And for the most part, we get it completely done. I mean, really close, and then offline, then I'll do some refinements to it. It's one of my favorite things I do every year because the young writers they want to push the envelope. They want something different that stands out. And so it's very exciting for me from a design perspective that I get to do things that I might not be able to do with other book designs, which I wish more authors were as gutsy and as the teen authors are. But I'll take it where I can get it. And they have such good instincts, and I think what's really wonderful about, and every single time it's been like this, the consensus was easy to find. And, you've got some that had completely different ideas than the others, but they found a way to come together and agree on things. We've never had a fight. There's never like, I want this, and nobody gets mad or anything. And it's like it's really wonderful to watch. It's quick and fun, and very memorable.
There is some joking that happens too over the cover design process. I know one of the years we had a big debate about whether to have a black sheep on the cover. And that was really funny because they really enjoyed that back and forth and the playfulness of that conversation. But I have to say, the cover design process with you, Victoria, is shockingly amazing. Like every time we've done this, there's been 6 years in a row where we've had, at least 8 different opinions, 8 wildly different directions, and you managed to reconcile it and collaborate it and get the kids working together as a team. Like I'm always at the edge of my edge of my seat, biting my nails. Are we going to be able to figure this out in an hour? And the fact that you pull it off every single time is shocking and amazing and wonderful and magical. And we've gotten feedback from a lot of the kids every year, basically saying that the cover design process is one of their favorite parts of camp and that you
Oh, that
are their
makes me very
favorite.
happy.
Yeah, so we've gotten a lot of feedback that it's been a really meaningful experience for these kids to see their work with a professionally designed cover of that caliber. And just because it's quick doesn't mean it's not a super amazing cover. I mean, these books have also been recognized for design. I mean, I know last year's book got an interior design award of silver at the Emmys, which if you haven't looked at the interior layout of these paperbacks, it is amazing. So yeah, I mean, you just take it up to such a high level, and these kids really enjoy that. Like they
Yeah,
are
I'm
really
happy. I'm
thrilled.
happy I can do that, and they inspire me to be a better designer and be a more, I guess, on point or trendy. Trendy is probably not the right word, but it's important to me to keep up with the trends in book design and not become, get stuck in a rut. And I don't think I would, but if I ever was going to every year, I get this kick in the butt by
Yeah.
by camp. That's like, they remind me. It's like, yeah, let's do something fun. And yeah, I do enjoy it.
I also feel like it has like the power of collaboration going on. And so it's teaching these kids that like the best outcome comes from collaboration and and
And
also trusting somebody who is a professional to work with their
a
ideas.
lot of them can't really articulate their ideas very well, or they feel like they can't. But, even just a few ideas, I can make sense of what I think that what they're going for. The year you were talking about, Kirsten, it was about the sheep, and it was just a fun cover because there's a sheep on the cover, and it's like we had, I go on to stock photography sites and I'm like, which sheep do you like? And we're picking out the sheep. I felt like I was at the stock show or something. It's like, we'll take that one over there and that pen. And it was fun. And then last year's was exceptionally fun too, because we ended up with a big eyeball, which we didn't start there. I don't know if I think we always end up somewhere different than we start, but that's part of the process and that's what makes it really fun.
So Victoria, you touched on something very interesting there, about each one ending up a little bit different. And they have, we've been scrolling through, um, as we go through this talk, each cover and what they look like, and they're all very unique and very different. And I think they really kind of represent the makeup of the group, of the different groups. But it's interesting how different each one has been over the years.
And that's based on the story types too. And also there's what is it, Kirsten, three campers who have been there since the beginning, and so they've aged through. And so I think when you look at all the covers spread out, on in a row, they you can see the maturity of the writers in the covers. And and that's what comes out of the cover call is they're requesting different things, or they have a different aesthetic than they did when they were 13 than they do now when they're 16. And that progression is really fascinating to see.
It's like an evolution of covers,
Yeah.
and you can see where they were as young writers and where they are as older writers, kind of pushing that envelope of genre and convention, and just having fun with it. And yeah, it's pretty magical to see how it's changed, and just the vibe that each camp group has compared from one year to the next. Victoria is, really one of the major backbone pieces of this camp. We could not do this without Victoria. Victoria, you are an amazing asset to these kids. The fact that you take them seriously, you support them. You're something you're so passionate about is coming in and talking to them about design and the craft, and of design. And I think you really elevate the camp to a whole different level. And really, we can't thank you enough for your involvement, and just seeing you design on the fly like a magician that you are, and as an artist too. It really is quite impactful, and I think you wow us every year. You wow the kids. You really make this something special. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That means a
Yeah.
lot to me. Thank you.
Eh,
We've talked about the collaboration between the editor and the designer, and Kirsten, you're working with them on writing. But how much do you go over with the campers on the actual publishing process? So getting the book actually out there and live. What part of the process do you talk about there?
we talk about a lot of the nuts and bolts of publishing, whether it's coming up with a title and having them collaborate on that, or the back cover copy. We spent a lot of time working together on back cover copy this year, or this last summer, so that they would understand the process for that. In terms of uploading and the nitty gritty of picking categories and keywords and things like that, I usually do that behind the scenes. Although I have, offered to let teens watch that process if they would like to. Some of them may take me up on that this year. We'll see. But yeah, I'm always open to curiosity doors, as they say in Stranger Things. If somebody's got something they really want to learn about the publishing process, I'm always happy to adapt and throw it in the mix. But yeah, it's pretty fun to see how they really steer the direction of all the little details too, and kind of getting them really on board with the cover and the theme and the title, and having that autonomy and that say over the direction of all the creative elements really gives them a lot of power. And I think that they really enjoy that because they don't always have that in their day-to-day lives.
So one of the things I think is amazing about the teen camp is not only do these writers emerge as published authors, but in I think every case in every year they emerge as award-winning published authors. Is that the case, Kirsten? Every book of every year has won some sort of award?
There was one year we did not win an award because I only entered it in one category and it did not win that one. We struggle sometimes in the YA category because we don't fit the mold of what a traditional YA book is. So that's my bad. That one year we did not win. But we have won 5 awards so far and counting, and I have not entered the latest book into any yet. I'm going to shortly, probably this week. So yeah, most of the time the books do come out winning awards. We've won every single medal you can imagine: gold, silver, bronze, for a variety of things, including anthologies, uh, juvenile fiction, and also for interior design. So that's pretty cool. So 5 awards over, you know, over several years. That's pretty impressive. And my goal is to increase the number of awards that we enter. Sometimes you don't win awards because you don't enter them. And I think that we need to build that up a little bit as a camp, just giving more opportunities, because it really is special for these kids to be recognized, and also to win an award that is not really meant for teens, but is meant for authors in general, I think is very meaningful. The fact that they are beating out other adult authors in these categories speaks really highly of their talent and work ethic. So I would like to continue to enter more awards so that we have more opportunities to recognize them, especially as some of these teenagers are heading off to college. Like the fact that they can put award-winning author on their college application is really meaningful, or their resume. I mean, it was really funny. My daughter, who's in the camp and has been in the camp since the beginning and kind of inspired a lot of us, she actually put together a mock resume for school a couple years ago, and it was full of stuff that was actually true. She's like, I'm an award-winning author, and she has like stuff about her writing credentials in there, and it was really neat to see. That she actually had some cred to put on her resume that was actually real, for her mock resume. So it was very cool.
So I have a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
What if though they're not writers necessarily, but they want to join the camp to kind of learn more about writing? Is that something that you encourage? Is that something that has happened in the past?
I think we've had some kids who have been pushing their kind of their comfort zones. We've had some teenagers who have really been really heavy on the STEM side, and they want to try their hand at writing and explore something different and see how they like it. And I've been really proud of some of those kids that have come through the camp and have really tried to push the envelope of where they're comfortable, and try new things. And I think that, yeah, as long as they're genuinely curious about trying to write a piece and develop it, I mean, we welcome them with open arms. I think if a kid outright hates writing, this might not be the right camp for them, because I don't want to torture anyone all summer long by encouraging them to do something they hate. But if they are curious about writing and they want to get the flavor of it and really try their hand at it and see what happens, this is a really great way to do that and explore it with people who can help nurture that talent and creativity. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think most of the writers we get have a pretty genuine passion for it, to start with. And I think that's a great place to start, is, if you really like writing, this is a wonderful camp for you.
Can you talk about how long each piece is? I feel like that would be a lot of information for me to know as a kid, to be like, oh, I only have to write this amount of, I don't have to write
Oh
10.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah, great point.
40,000 words in 5 weeks. It's like,
Right, right.
okay.
I kind of want to know.
The other thing we should mention too is that we have guest coaches come in and play games with the writers and help them work on the craft once a week as well. So, we've got different authors, award-winning editors, and authors coming cycling in, and talking about different craft elements as well. So that's really exciting. It kind of gives a different flavor every week, as opposed to me just droning on and on about craft and writing. And they get a lot of different perspectives and have a chance to share their work and try out new things. In terms of the length of the piece that the kids have to write, we're actually pretty open to different lengths of stories. We try to cap it. Generally, we'll give like a maximum and a minimum word count, but there's suggested guidelines. We're very flexible. We've had some people write some very short pieces. I think one of our writers last year turned in a 5-page story. We've had some shorter ones. Sometimes it's actually easier to write longer pieces, because when you're writing the story structure of a beginning, middle, and end, it can be a lot to fit into flash fiction, for example. So, we find that most of our writers actually struggle to keep things short as opposed to making them too long. They sometimes make them too long instead of too short. So we've never really been like, oh, that's too short of a story. I don't think we've had that problem. I don't think that we would really be, worried about it too much if a kid turned in a story that was 2 pages long. I think as long as it's got the actual structure where it feels finished and complete, we would be fine with it. So there's no hard and fast rule on story length for this program. It could be a short project or it could be a longer one. And I think, again, it comes down to what the individual writer wants and envisions for their story. They have that power and control to decide like how long they want it to be.
if there's anybody out there who wants to write a graphic story, which I think would be an interesting inclusion into the book. So for, because there could be some potential writers out there that's like, oh, but I want to do graphic novels. This doesn't sound like it's for me.
Yeah, I think we are open to having kids who want to include their own graphics and illustrations in the book. We've done a little bit of that in the past, and that is something that we are definitely encouraging our campers to do. We've actually got an illustrator visiting us at camp to talk about storyboarding this summer as a guest coach. So that's definitely something that we will be really open to in this session of camp, and we would love to have some visual artists who are also writers or also interested in writing join us to play around with some stuff this summer because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Where do the camp are all of the campers in Denver, or have you had campers for all over the
We
country?
we've had campers from all over the world. We had one camper who was from Ukraine originally, who was living in Brazil while she was attending our camp. We've had campers from every single time zone in the United States. So yeah, it's pretty cool that it's on Zoom. We've had cousins and best friends from different parts of the country logging in. Being able to have that shared experience and come out of it with a book together is pretty cool. So it's been very special.
And then a book launch party.
Yeah, the book launch is always a blast because we get to celebrate with the kids and recognize their accomplishments and play games and talk and reminisce. And yeah, it's pretty special to be able to celebrate that.
And this year's the first year you're going to have some of the returning campers actually help with working with the new campers, right? Is that what you said you're going to
Yeah,
have?
yeah, we've got a couple of our returning campers who are going to be in more leadership positions. So we've got one of them is going to be working on marketing with me, which is really fun. And then I've got another camper who wants to help with editing tasks and kind of mentoring other writers as well. So that's really exciting as they get older to have those opportunities. And like I said, I'm very flexible. That the joy of having a small program like this is that we can really follow the curiosity and interests of our campers and try new things. And we're always evolving and having fun with those things.
Kristen, what about the parents that might be on the fence about a camp such as this? Wondering not only from a financial perspective, but from an energy and a time perspective, because it is a 5-week course. It's during the summer when people are traveling, going on vacations, et cetera. What would you say to the parents out there to encourage them that, this is great for their teen?
I think the nice thing about our campus, we have a lot of flexibility. So you have the opportunity to dial in on Zoom even when you're at Disney World. Like you can come join us if you're in Europe. The time zones still make it feasible. So, we've had kids who've missed a session here and there, and that's fine. If you can't make all 5 weeks, we understand. And we can work around that. It's not a big deal. Uh, but that said, I feel like it is a really good investment in time because a lot of it is done on their own. So while the Tuesday afternoon sessions are, really great, they're only an hour and a half. A lot of the work actually is behind the scenes when the kids working on their stories or working one on one with the editor. So, that's kind of it's self-directed almost. It's at their own pace. They can kind of work and that's the other thing too is because it's a small camp, we have flexibility. If they're like, oh, I can't get my story done this week, reach out to me. I'll make it happen. I can give you an extension. It's no big deal. We don't want people stressing out about it. We want them to have a good time. And I think really understanding that this camp has a lot of flexibility, it might actually be the perfect fit for your summer schedule because you don't have to worry about being in a certain physical location. You don't have to worry about, if I miss this deadline, am I not going to get the story in on time? And it's going to be a huge deal. Like, it's not a big deal. We are flexible. We can help them work around it. And it's also a great way to fill up a summer with a fun thing that at the end of the day, there's this great accomplishment, which is publishing a book.
One of the reasons I love being part of this is every time I do this or I think about it or talk about it, I just imagine what it would have been like if I had this when I was a kid. And this how I don't even know if I can put into words how amazing this has got to be for everybody who goes through this camp to just be heard. And it's not it goes so beyond being heard. Your innermost thoughts and I won't say secrets, but thoughts and feelings that go into a story, and to have somebody sit and listen to it and be excited about it and help you craft it. It's so confidence building, and it's remarkable, and I think it gives every kid such a great basis to move forward as they age and they go through life, and especially now the ones that are about ready for college. God, the confidence they must have in themselves and their abilities. It's just it's wonderful.
I
Yeah.
want to tap on that. It's like people get to celebrate their work on a level that I was never allowed to celebrate my work as a teenager, right? I wrote a lot as a teen, wasn't published. Just to have that opportunity to have that confidence going into college would have been amazing.
Yeah, a lot of kids are not taken seriously, which makes me it's so sad to me. And obviously we weren't when we were kids. It's either writing or art or anything creative, because I know a lot of us grew up with the you can't do that because you're never going to make any money. Oh, you want to be an artist? No, no, no. You need to do something different. You want to be a writer. They go hand in hand. Society believes you can't do that, and so to get this support at such a young age, I mean, who knows where every camper is going to take their experience. It's really pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
really
you have
excited to see where they are in 5, 10 years with their
Oh
writing
yeah, that would
careers,
be
or
cool.
even 20 years, to witness where they take it, because we do take them seriously. Like, we really believe in these kids. We think this is their writing, this is their art. We find many of them are very professional, talented, hardworking people, and they're doing the work to make these stories amazing, and it really shows. And we aren't just slapping something together. We're making sure that it comes out as professional as possible with the best editing and the best cover design and the best interior design, and that it's really something they can be so proud of. And we're proud of them too.
we all are successful in the writing craft. I think that's actually a benefit for the kids to know that you can do this, right? So all of us um, attempted our arts and our writing when we were younger, and it might have taken us a longer path to get where we are, but in terms of being able to love what you do and be creative in what you do, this class is such a gateway for that. Like Victoria said, they may not become writers, but they have this craft and they'll be able to use it in whatever field they pick. And I think that would have been really helpful to me as a young person.
Yeah, the confidence I think is the greatest thing. And to be for the rest of their lives, they're going to be published authors. That's never going to change. Well,
Yeah.
and I think that's pretty fabulous.
And just having that creative outlet as an adolescent, like, it's so valuable because it is such a challenging time to grow up, in the world we live in right now, and to have this as something that you can turn to and really be passionate about and love is just so valuable.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what topic they come up with this year with everything going on in the world. It's going to be really interesting to see what taps into their creativity and what they want to express.
I have a feeling there's going to be a humorous aspect to it because we all have to, I
Yeah,
think
we
we've
need
all clung to
more humor
humor
right now for
this
sure.
last year. So it'll be interesting to see if they've been dark for a while. But so maybe they're dark and humorous too, maybe sarcasm or something. And they're getting older, so they're gonna I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Give us a reminder on the dates when it's taking place. Are there sign up deadlines? Kind of give us a reminder of the details.
So the camp runs on Tuesdays from June 30th to July 28th, from 1:30 to 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Uh, we also have a couple of drop-in writing sessions that are optional on a couple Thursdays. In terms of deadlines, early bird pricing lasts until March 27th. After that, I think it goes up just a little bit, but it's still pretty affordable considering what we're offering, with one-on-one editing and all the other bells and whistles of this program. And It would be great if we could have as many people as possible sign up before early bird ends, because that helps us plan out our scholarships better. We do occasionally offer some scholarships on a limited basis for students in need, or campers in need, I should say. So, the sooner the better to sign up. Also, space is limited. We generally keep it capped at about 8 to 10 people, so we don't want to fill up and have to turn people away. So, if you're really excited about this camp, please, sign up sooner than later so we can make sure we have space for your camper. There's a link for a teen writing camp, the Emerging Teen Writers Writing and Publishing Camp on my website, kbjensenauthor.com. So again, that's kbjensenauthor.com. And there's a whole tab for it for Teen Writing Camp.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to talk to me about the teen camp. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rich. Thank you for
Yeah, I'm
your
glad.
support and marketing know-how. And you guys are a wonderful resource for authors as well. So, thank you again for helping support our camp. And Victoria and Jennifer, I can't thank you enough for being on the team. So.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see what this year's gonna bring.
Yeah,
So.
and good luck with camp this year.